So Dhamma was taught by the Blessed One, our teacher, the supremely enlightened Buddha. Before Buddha passed away, he taught the world the way to escape suffering. So Buddha first, he escaped from suffering and he achieved full enlightenment. And during his lifespan as a Buddha, he lived for 45 years as a Buddha, so supremely enlightened Buddha. And he taught his students, his disciples, the path to escape suffering, because that was the main point or main idea of a Buddha, to help the mankind and the world, the heavenly beings, to escape suffering. So during that 45 years, all the teachings that the Buddha taught is called the Dhamma. That's when Buddha passed away. Just before he passed away, he told the Sangha, the monks, that after the passing away of the teacher, the Buddha, the Dhamma will be your teacher. So we have a teacher. Buddha told that you may think that now the teacher has gone to the past and there's no refuge for us. You might think like that, but Buddha said, don't think like that. All the teaching I taught you, the Dhamma will be your teacher after the passing away of the Buddha. So now it has been about more than 2,500 years from the passing away of the Buddha. So now we have a teacher. Our teacher is this sublime Dhamma taught by the Blessed One. So all the words that's there in the Dhamma are well expounded, well taught, well said by the Buddha. So all the words have their meanings, and a wise person who listens and listens to and learns the Dhamma will be able to understand the meaning of these words and be able to practice these qualities and be able to reach enlightenment gradually, not at the first moment he or she hears the Dhamma. It will take some time for him or her to practice the path and reach enlightenment gradually. So all the words that are taught by the Buddha are well expounded, and all these words explain how to escape suffering. So that quality is called swakhata, well said or well expounded by the Buddha. There's one sutta that is very important to learn. In that sutta, Buddha said there are four ways of answering questions. So in the suttas, when we learn these suttas, we can see that a lot of people come to the Buddha and they ask questions, and Buddha answers to all these questions in many different ways. So Buddha said that there are four ways of answering questions. The first method is to give direct answers. So there's a set of questions in the world. To that set of questions, you have to give direct answers. So that's one type of questions that's there in the world. So, for an example, if somebody asks, "Is the eye impermanent?" and the Buddha would say, "Yes, the eye is impermanent." That's a direct answer. It's a direct question. You can answer it directly. And there's another set of questions. For those questions, the Buddha give an analytical answer to that question. He analyzes that question and divides into separate sections, and then he explains. That's another set of questions that's there in the world. For an example, if somebody asks, "Is what is impermanent the eye?" So Buddha says all conditioned things are impermanent. And if somebody asks, so what's impermanent is the eye? Is that the case? If somebody asks like that, then the Buddha divides that into separate sections and would explain the eye is impermanent, the ear is impermanent, the nose is impermanent, the tongue, the body, and the mind. All these six faculties are impermanent. So he would divide that into six parts: eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So if somebody asks, is what is impermanent the eye? Then the Buddha would answer, it's not only the eye, there are other faculties as well. The eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. All these six faculties are impermanent. So for questions like that, the Buddha would give an analytical answer. So, that's the second set of questions that there are in the world, and you can see that when you learn the teachings of the Buddha. And the next type of questions is uh, when somebody asks a question like that, the Buddha would count a question. So if somebody asks, uh, can the eye perceive everything? Can you know everything from the eye? And for that question, the Buddha would ask, can you hear sounds with your eye? Can you smell uh, odors with your eye? Can you taste with your eye? So Buddha will have to counter question that person and to give him the knowledge that uh, uh, from the eye you can see forms, but you can't hear, you can't smell, or you can't taste, or you can't touch. And from the ear, you can hear sounds, but you can't see, you can't uh, taste or smell. So like that, the Buddha would counter question. If somebody asks, can you perceive everything from the eye? If somebody asks like that, the Buddha would counter question. So for that set of questions, uh, the Buddha counter questions that person and educates or give him the knowledge to understand that. So that's the third set of questions. And there's another set of questions. For those questions, Buddha will not respond. He will not give an answer. So there are questions like that. If somebody asks, if an arahant passes away, and after that, after the passing away of the arahant, does he exist or does he not exist? For those questions, the Buddha will not give an answer. So you will understand why, if you learn these teachings and learn the Four Noble Truths, and mainly the Paticca, that means dependent origination. So when a disciple learns all these things, explaining the Dhamma, he will understand why the Buddha didn't give answers to these questions, because this set of questions are asked by people being inclined in views. So they will be uh, attached to different views and then understand or see the world in a different way, uh, and they will misunderstand the real nature of the world, and they will ask questions. So they're asking this question with the wrong view. So Buddha doesn't give answers to those questions. So there are these four types of questions, and Buddha really understood that the way to explain the Dhamma. So when you learn the teachings of the Buddha, we can vividly see that Buddha really knew what he was talking about, and all the teachings were perfect. This Dhamma, the teaching, clearly explains the path to escape suffering. So he explained what suffering is, and he explained the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to the cessation of suffering, the Four Noble Truths. So all these teachings we find in the Pali Canon are perfect. So the Dhamma is well expounded. So that's the first quality, swakato. That means it is well expounded by the Buddha.